How to change your vibration is the single and only question that you ever actually need to ask, because every single thing that happens to you happens after that. This is an energy universe. We think that pushing heavy objects around is what makes the difference. It isn't. It's the quality and quantity of our energy that either attracts or repels everything. So let's have a real serious discussion about really how to change your vibration. Before we get into that, I just want to tell you that the reason we're able to do this is because many of you support us. You become members on YouTube, you become members on Patreon, become a subscriber to Instagram, and we respond to that by being available to you for your questions, for everything that you need, as much as we are able to do it. And your support makes it possible for Ishani and for me to devote basically almost full time to both creating these on my part and on her part on sharing them and make sure that you can get them. We call this a mission. We call this Mission of the Masters because we're representing Paramahansa Yogananda, Swami Kriyananda Babaji, other great saints throughout the ages. So this work that we do is our mission of the Masters. And that title, with no spaces between it, at gmail.com is a recognized charity on PayPal. So you can also support what we're doing directly by donating to Mission of the Masters at gmail.com on PayPal. And if you're in the USA, that also gives you some tax benefit. So my friends, let's now deal with the question. Okay, first we have to understand, and you have to think about it in a very holistic way. And this is why I said just a moment ago, this is an energy universe. This is the revolution of Einstein's teachings, which has brought all the things that we're dealing with. The mere fact that I can record this in California and that you can watch this all over the world and maybe even be subtitled in whatever language is your first language that you want to hear it in. But now let's just be very practical. What does that mean about me? That means that the things that I want to attract in my life, whether it's a good partner, a life, a life work, or an understanding of my own purpose, or perfect happiness, or money, or whatever it might be, it's not a physical thing. It's a pattern of energy that is going to be responding to the pattern of energy that I put out. So what kind of energy am I putting out? Now you have to understand that energy is really sneaky because energy is always there. Energy is not just an appearance. Energy is not just my being able to say, oh yes, I'm perfectly happy and I really like you. Oh yeah, this is just fine with me. It's just like that is an appearance that you're putting forward, but what's actually being sent out into the universe is who you actually are, how you actually feel, what you are really thinking. Thoughts have an enormous power, and what you are thinking, so you become. And if you really want to change your vibration, it's changing the way you actually view and relate to the world. You have to really go in and saying, like, what kind of a signal am I sending out to the world? Am I unhappy? Am I crabby? Am I critical? Am I joyous? Am I grateful? Am I moving with faith in God? Am I fearful? Am I courageous? And the wonderful news about understanding energy and vibration is that it's right within our power to shift it. Now, what you have to also understand is every thought, feeling, and action that we've put out up to this point has not just dissipated into the ether, it's still connected through us. And this is what the chakras are all about. If you want to change your vibration, go to my YouTube channel, type in the word chakras, and listen to at least some of probably what are hundreds of hours on that subject, because chakras explain how your vibration is created, and it also explains how you shift it. And the problem with my trying to explain this to you is there is no quick and simple answer, and there is no shortcut. You have to understand how the system works, which is the chakras. Then you have to begin to exercise those practices, which is affirmation, which is prayer, which is devotion to God, which is seeing yourself in relation to a greater reality, which is meditation, which is helpful living, which is changing your diet. Because all of these things, and the music you listen to, and the people you hang out with, oh my gosh, can't you just tell me how to change my vibration? Well, I am. Because everything that you bring in to your environment, into your consciousness, affects your vibration, and everything that goes out from your consciousness affects your vibration. So basically, start anywhere. Because once you start shifting, even in a small way, you see, it's an energy universe. Think of this image. You have the river is flowing toward the sea. And the river, the destiny of the river is to get to the sea. As soon as the water is there, it tries to get home to the ocean. Talk about an analogy for our own consciousness. As soon as we're born, we're seeking perfect love. As soon as we're born, we're seeking perfect joy. We are made by God to come home to God, just as the river is made to flow back to the ocean. And all of our experiments in this world are all just an attempt to find that home again. So we head for our home. We have an intuitive sense of where it is. And love and joy are the two primary things that guide us, and wisdom and truth. We have a longing for these things. You put many words on them, but that's fundamentally what we're looking for. But along the way, we get confused. We get distracted. I mean, how many times? Just think about your everyday life. I mean, I live in a 2-story house. I come downstairs for some specific purpose, but on the way, I notice that there's a package on the porch in front of it. So I open the door and I get the package and I look at the package and I like what's in it or I don't like what's in it. So if I don't like what's in it, I have to go back to my computer and I have to arrange to have it returned again. And then I see another message and then I do this. And then I never get to what I came downstairs to do because I got distracted. I got sucked into a whirlpool of some other reality. I mean, and that is tiny. Getting a package on your doorstep is pleasant. What if somebody in your house says a rude word to you, or you read something in the newspaper or read on the computer that just completely freaks you out? You know, what if you look out the window and see that it's raining and you plan to have a picnic? I mean, count it. There's constant things that are whirlpools that have enough attraction for you or enough power that the energy that you're putting out in one direction gets eaten by the energy going in another direction. You see, that's the river and the whirlpool. And every time that happens to you, okay, then now my vibration has become this, but I wanted it to become that. So you have to start over again. And that's the long process of self-transformation. How did I get sucked into that? First of all, how can I extricate myself and put out energy in the direction I want to go? What can I do to diminish the attractive power of this one? This is, again, we have many different solutions to all of these issues, but once you understand what the basic dynamic is, that none of the situations or items or whatever it is that distract your energy, they don't exist in themselves. What exists is an interplay of energy, which is to say every bit of energy that you put out to take your river to the ocean is going in some magnetic relationship going to gradually make you stronger than everything that tries to take you away from the ocean. And this is why it's a big project. But what else are we going to do? And this becomes to the very simple, do I want to be happy or do I want to be compelled by things that are not what I want? And if you find yourself compelled by things that are not what you want, you have to start by finding those things that you can do that will take you in a positive direction. A woman came to me once and she was having what I called 100%er. And I sort of tried to put a positive spin on it by saying, well, the good news is every single area of your life is falling apart. And as a consequence, when this is all over, you'll have a whole new life. So this is the good news. You're having 100%er. Nothing will be left behind. So let's just make a new slate. In the meantime, all of her energy trying to go in a positive direction kept constantly being eaten up by everything that was pulling her down. And it was no joke what was going on in her life. I said, is there anything in your life that gives you uplifted, positive energy? And she said, I love to ride my bike. I said, okay, when you're afraid that you're not going to be able to pay the rent, instead of sitting in your house and worrying about it, get on your bike. And when whoever the relatives in your life are that are making your life so miserable and you just talk to them on the phone, hang up the phone, get on your bike and ride your bike. And she came back to me a couple of weeks later. And it was very interesting because she was just riding her bike because nothing else was working. She was spending a lot of time on her bike. And what she was finding is that when she started riding her bike, she started having creative ideas about what she could do about everything else that was eating her alive. Because she was beginning to generate a positive flow of energy, and it was stronger than at least some of the energy that was pulling her down. So even if it seems silly, like what does bike riding have to do with the fact that I'm going to lose my house? Bike riding would change her vibration, and then she would attract to herself a solution for the other situation as well. You see what I mean? If you understand it all as energy, you don't think, so what does bike riding have to do with my house? You say, the problem is I need a positive flow of energy that is greater than what is distracting me from what my real goals are. And it's very, actually quite simple when you think about it, but it's not easy, and it's not quick. It's not like, oh, I have this problem, now it's solved. Oh, I want to change my vibration, now I have. No, this is a lifetime project. But what else are we going to do with our time? And what choice do we have? Do we wish to be constantly at the mercy of things that are just distracting us from our real goal? Or do we wish to put one foot in front of the other, or whatever that looks like, and just move ourselves steadily, unrelentingly, determinedly, starting over as many times as is necessary until we have become what we were born to be? All right, my friends, God bless you.